In the early morning, before the sun had fully risen, on a bustling little street, a strange scene suddenly unfolded, leaving passers-by utterly astonished. In the middle of a road meant for both vehicles and pedestrians, there lay an unusual character. A man in worn-out clothes with a tired face, sound asleep right in the center of the street, as if he were completely oblivious to any social order. Suddenly, a loud shout echoed from the sidewalk. "Oh my goodness, who is lying in the middle of the road like this? Get up!" The slumbering man slowly opened his eyes, his gaze half closed, as if caught between a dream and reality. Standing before him was a sharp-tongued woman, as if she were defending her own rights, who immediately began to shout, "Excuse me, get up and let me pass. This road was built by my father, and I won't allow anyone to block it." Her words, both demanding and threatening, carried a mocking tone. She not only demanded attention, but also insisted on a tip for liquor as compensation for the inconvenience. In that brief moment, the atmosphere grew tense, yet filled with irony. The man, now awake, displayed in his still dazed eyes a mix of helplessness and subtle sarcasm, as if he knew he couldn't defy her bizarre demand. "If I had plenty of money, I'd buy you some liquor. If not, then forget it," he mumbled in a low, gently defiant tone. The dialogue did not merely revolve around a request to step aside. It unfolded into a vivid portrayal of everyday conflicts. Amid laughter, teasing, and even threats to call the police, everything seemed to reflect a society where personal freedom is interwoven with power struggles and conflicts between the individual and the collective. Within that space, despite the threats and unusual demands, there was also a touch of humor that allowed listeners to sense both the underlying frustration and the uncanny mimicry of lives far from ideal. For a moment, amidst laughter and harsh words, the conversation became a living testament to human diversity. A reflection of the absurd yet utterly genuine situations that play out on the small streets of an urban landscape. In the gloomy atmosphere of stormy days, she, a young woman of only 22, had to endure the cruel fate of her life. Shunned by her in-laws and regarded as a heavy debt stemming from her failure to bring them the joy of a child, the once hopeful and dream-filled home has now become nothing more than a bitter memory. She was cast out onto the street like a shattered mirror, reflecting society's harsh prejudices. Along the long, wandering streets of the city, she encountered countless people who were also struggling against fate. The drifters and the wounded souls scarred by unjust losses became her companions in misfortune. Each encounter was like a gentle yet bittersweet consolation, reminding her that she was not alone in her suffering. Even as the days passed in quiet resignation, she persisted in gathering the shattered pieces of her faith in life, despite knowing that sorrow might forever linger like an ever-present ghost. The whispers of the wind along every street, and the compassionate, wistful glances from strangers sharing in her loneliness, gradually helped her realize that, although society may devalue her and inflict hurtful words, a person's worth is not measured solely by the ability to bear children or by material achievements. In the midst of that very anguish, she found the strength to keep moving forward, even though the road ahead was fraught with challenges and hardships. The chairman and employees gathered to discuss an urgent matter, controlling the quantity and quality of the wood shipments. The chairman, with a deep yet decisive voice, emphasized that every detail from the thickness and dimensions to the quality of each wood panel needed to be strictly monitored. He stated that only transparency and accuracy in every figure could ensure the company's credibility before both domestic and international clients. The warehouse manager presented the data, affirming that although there were minor errors due to imprecise recording, the overall situation remained within acceptable limits. However, the chairman did not tolerate any laxity and immediately demanded a full review of the reporting and goods handling process to ensure that no case could adversely affect the upcoming export contract. He particularly stressed the importance of cross-checking data between departments to eliminate any errors that might occur during transportation and storage. After addressing quality control, the meeting shifted focus to business strategy. The chairman proposed a flexible approach to reducing product prices to attract export partners without diminishing the brand's value. The meeting concluded with a series of important decisions: improving the quality control process, re-examining the inventory data, and developing a financial plan for the next year to invest additional capital in expanding the production line. In the agricultural warehouse area, all activities are systematically organized to ensure that the processes of receiving, storing, and dispatching goods run smoothly. The warehouse, which houses a diverse range of key products such as taro, ginger, and pomelo, is carefully managed with strict quality control measures applied right from the moment of receipt. The products come from two main sources. Approximately 70% are supplied by local farmers, reflecting traditional ties and the grower's reliability, while the remaining 30% are directly imported from professional farms, ensuring uniformity and stable quality. The work in the warehouse is carried out in several steps: receiving, sorting, checking the freshness and size of the products, and then arranging them into designated areas according to product type and storage duration. An automated reporting system is used to track inventory levels, helping management quickly identify any discrepancies and take timely corrective actions, such as promotional discounts or clearance programs. To prevent waste and minimize losses, the warehouse staff are thoroughly trained in operating machinery and using modern measuring devices, ensuring that every product meets the required standards before shipment. Moreover, the company is planning to expand its operational scale to boost production capacity and meet the growing market demand. A new investment is expected to be mobilized to expand the production plant and upgrade the existing infrastructure. This plan focuses not only on increasing processing and packaging capacities, but also on applying advanced technology to the production process in order to optimize efficiency and reduce operating costs. Through these efforts, the company aims for sustainable development, reaffirming its position in the domestic market as well as expanding its international exports, thereby creating long-term economic value for both the agricultural community and the enterprise. The manager provided step-by-step instructions. Now, take this bag and carefully pack each parcel according to the specified dimensions. Then, weigh each product to ensure that every package weighs exactly 20 kilograms, without delay or error. The workers' hands quickly became accustomed to each task, assembling, packaging, and sorting the goods into designated areas, while their laughter mingled with strict reminders from their superiors, creating a lively yet professional rhythm. In addition, the manager stressed the importance of handling the goods accurately. Remember, each parcel is not just a product, but also a reflection of the warehouse's reputation. If there is any mistake, we not only lose customers, but also jeopardize the entire supply chain. These detailed instructions were conveyed clearly, covering everything from weighing each item to using modern machinery to minimize errors during transportation and storage. Step by step, they learned to work in harmony, forming a synchronized team that contributed to maintaining order and ensuring high-quality operations within the warehouse. The scene of recruitment and work supervision was not merely about hiring labor, it was also a process of building a cohesive group in which every individual understood their role and significance within the complex operational system of the enterprise. On a sweltering afternoon, as sunlight peeked weakly through gray clouds, the atmosphere within the family suddenly became charged with rumors of the missing land certificate. The land certificate, the document recording the property rights of the entire family, had mysteriously vanished under strange circumstances, sparking a flurry of suspicions and severe accusations amid bewildered and anxious gazes. The young woman, with a gentle appearance yet bearing deep melancholy, quickly became the focal point of all the doubts. As soon as the incident broke out, the family members did not hesitate to unleash a torrent of reproaches and criticisms on Diep. They believed that not only had she failed to safeguard the important documents, but there were also indications linking her to fraudulent behavior. The accusations, interwoven with disappointment and indignation, further intensified the tension within the household. The scoldings, the suspicious glances, and even the sighs filled with regret echoed through every corner of the house, suggesting that this loss was not merely a material misfortune, but also a blow to the family's pride and honor. Before long, the intervention of the police arrived. Investigators stepped in, gathered evidence, and interviewed each family member. They endeavored to clarify the connection between Diep and the mysterious disappearance of the land certificate, while simultaneously searching for traces of the thief amid the chaotic atmosphere. At the same time, the heated exchanges among the family members only deepened the sense of remorse. Every scolding and every accusatory remark was not just an expression of outrage against injustice, but also a lament from hearts confused and pained by the loss of trust in their loved ones. The police intervention exposed the underlying conflicts and opened the door to candid discussions among the family members, aiming to uncover the truth and heal the emotional wounds. This land certificate case is not merely an ordinary theft. It is a complex portrait of familial discord, where harsh reproaches blend with regret and inner torment, vividly reflecting the fragility of trust and the value of family in the face of adversity. In the small house, the atmosphere, heavy with tension, grew increasingly strained. After dinner, the husband and wife sat facing each other in the living room, while their son stood silently in a corner. In anger, the husband said, "You are the one who allowed everything to spiral into chaos. It's your fault for failing to control the situation, letting innocent Diep ruin everything." The wife's face flushed red as she retorted bitterly, "You aren't blameless either for not intervening right from the start. How can you be held responsible for Diep's actions when you never cared?" The argument grew more heated, and the accusations hurled back and forth cut like sharp knives through the soul. Their sensitive son, unable to bear the escalating tension, burst out in a troubled voice, "Why does everyone keep blaming Diep? I think she's partly at fault, but she isn't solely to blame for this mess." His words only stoked an even greater storm in his parents' hearts. Amid the chaos, the mother stood up, her eyes determined and her calm yet authoritative voice resounding. "Enough. Go and find Diep immediately. You must tell me where she is so that we can clear this matter up together." Her command was unequivocal, leaving the son bewildered and too intimidated to object. In that moment, the barrage of reproaches and accusations not only fanned the flames of conflict among the family members, but also reflected the pain and helplessness of those unwilling to face the truth. The feelings of loss and desolation, mixed with regret, rendered the household somber and heavy. Every word and every glance carried the weight of past regrets and the hope for an explanation, a chance to make amends. And now, as the son quietly stepped outside, the whole family was left with a single pressing question about Diep. The one they all harbored deep-seated remorse for and longed to understand in order to heal the lingering emotional wounds over time. Amid the small streets teeming with everyday tales, an old, worn-out bicycle pulled over by the roadside at a bustling corner. A modest bread stall, adorned with rustic signs, stood there, where the vendor, with a warm smile and gentle eyes, was always ready to greet passers-by. Today, as the afternoon sunlight gradually faded, a middle-aged woman gently approached the stall, running her hand through her silver hair, and asked, "Please give me a crispy loaf of bread and a bottle of cold water." The vendor replied in a gentle voice, "Certainly, please. I wish you a warm dinner and a bright tomorrow." Her words carried a simple faith in the goodness of life, easing the fatigue of a long day's labor. At the same time, the atmosphere around the stall was filled with warmth. Passers-by exchanged nods and gentle smiles, a quiet reminder that no matter how arduous life may be, hope and the warmth of human kindness always endure. The woman accepted the bread, clearly savoring its simple, heartfelt flavor, as if it carried a message. Even a modest dinner is enough to warm the soul and fuel a new day. She bowed in gratitude, then walked away, her eyes shining with hope for a tomorrow where everything might be better. In that moment, amid the vendors' calls, the chatter of locals, and the spreading warmth of kindness, the entire neighborhood seemed illuminated by hope, affirming that in everyday life, the simplest things can bring joy and faith in a bright future.